YouTube? It's Brian Phillips. Look what we've got here, the J-11. Yes, you might be thinking that looks like an SU-27, and you'd be correct because this is the Chinese version of the Russian version, the SU-27. And yes, we have both, but that one had a tough time, but this one's just really excited to see you. So definitely worth checking out. If you guys want to buy this and use a special coupon code, there are 2 available. I say that again, 2 available. We're going to link to that, and hopefully you're fast enough to get the good deal. But here we go. We're going to fly it again. 5,000, 6S, 100C going. Throttle cuts off. No takeoff flaps. Here we go. She's alive. Okay, out of the gear. Okay, just
2 cars.
You're good where you are.
Okay.
Okay, just coming right at us.
Okay.
Going up and over and around. And we're coming right down. Here we go.
And then 1 coming from the cemetery?
Yep. We're good.
2 coming.
We're good. Beautiful flight envelope we get with this plane, guys. Sorry about the audio. 50% throttle there. As you can see, the thing looks absolutely realistic. Going straight up here, bringing it all the way over the top. Nice. Into an almost stall. A little bit of rudder to redirect. 100%. And as you can see, that thing looks absolutely fantastical. Right overhead, because there's no power lines in our way anymore. Oh yeah, baby.
That was cool.
Trying to stay with the clouds, folks, so you can see those minor differences in under and overside colors. Looks so realistic. Guys, I gotta love it. We're gonna try for a slower pass here.
Okay.
Because you can hear it now. And just listen to that beautiful noise of nothing but Brian Phillips' whispers. Oh, yes! So guys, if you really push the flight envelope on these jets, you can do some crazy stuff. I'm not one of those people. I just love doing the things that I would see in real life. And to be honest with you, there are some cool things. Let's check the gear. It's not a super long flight, guys. So I gotta say, oh, look at this beautiful landing attempt. Oh yeah, gear going back up.
That was good.
Just a little temptation there. Didn't actually touch down. AS3X and safe equipped on this one. We use the AR637T. We do have telemetry that shows us our pack voltage. Lots of rudder. Use the rudder to make that turn mostly. Gonna roll it here. And then out of the roll, we'll bring it back down. Just nice. Keep that rudder where you want it. Keep that nose where you want it, and she'll keep flying for you. Come down really close, really high speed pass. Oh, yes! If that doesn't get the blood pumping, I literally don't know what will.
Wow.
Seriously. 1 minute. Right through the sun. Out of the throttle. Give your batteries a break once in a while, guys. 100C packs, they will let loose. Twin 70s are battery chewers. I'm just gonna warn you. If you haven't figured that out on your own, just take my word for it. Okay, janking it now. Here we go, full jank. Oh yeah, let that thing stall. Get it flying. That means point it toward the ground, baby. Look at the LED. Even in bright daytime sunshine, we got no problem seeing. And we're 1 minute is about 30 seconds ago. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cruise. Gear coming out. And we're just gonna final camera cruise. Perfectly fine where she is. You just keep doing what you're doing, camera crew. Let's see if I can get it over here. I don't like this angle as much. Gear coming back up. We're gonna, oh, shibittle balls. Guys, you've heard it before here on Brian Phillips RT. You're gonna hear it right now, no talking.
Okay.
Shibbity balls! Well, maybe I'll need to use my own coupon code, guys, because I ran my battery dead 10 seconds over my timer, and I should have landed it this way. But guys, that's part of the hobby. So I'm gonna go find that thing in the ditch. It's gonna be amazing. I can't wait. Thanks for watching, guys. Buy one. Coupon code's there for you. Real life, but there's only 2 of them, guys. I don't make the rules. I just pass along the details. If you haven't bought one yet, check it out and come back for more here on Brian Phillips RC. If you want to help support us, members are welcome on YouTube. Super thanks, PayPal and Patreon. So as usual, guys, we really appreciate you being here with us, and I killed another one for you. So hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so we found it in not so tall grass. The one ordnance on this wingtip was underneath it like this. And of course, the camera crew left the camera behind because she was helping me carry stuff. And then this one, we had just a little bit of greenery that got stuck in it. That was probably where I clipped the tree. And just to be clear, my 100C pack was not happy about the way I mistreated it. So that explains why it came to a little bit early. And when I say early, I had a 4-minute timer set for that, okay? But with full telemetry, I could have set alarms. I just didn't do that. Not very good on me for that. And we ended up with some pretty significant damage. Now, the cool thing is that if I was seriously motivated, this thing could be fixed. It's definitely manageable to fix. Now, we did lose this. I'm guessing that's probably somewhere up the tree, unfortunately. But I think everything is intact. Even the landing gear survived, as far as I can tell, with the exception of the gear door on the nose gear. Okay, so if you look at everything is intact because the grass was very thick where it landed, and the nose did take the brunt of the damage. And that what tends to happen with these jets when you make a mistake on your time. And so I have done it a number of times, and I'll do it a number of times more in the future of my RC career, let's just say. But truth is, it still is a bummer because honestly, I really love this plane. As you can see, it flew very good. And as I said out there, it is part of the nature of the beast. And this is kind of what happens. I said twins are battery chewers. That's an expensive battery and it might be destroyed. Granite countertops, non-flammable surface for a while for that thing to cool down. I want to make sure it's safe before we would even think about doing anything with it. And I probably just honestly pushed it too hard. Now, what could be improved upon in these power systems is when we see we got a little rider here, get out of there, is that I have seen this before time and time again, even on a 100C pack, which should be plenty capable to perform with this environment. I think they call for a 45C pack. So I've run 50 and I've run 100C packs in here, and they both had the high propensity to want to puff. One thing I would love to see is rather than dangling out one cable like this, as you can see, I would really like to see just 2 and just make room for 2 batteries. Each individual ESC will have its own power source. Ironically enough, very minimal damage, just a little bit of a bend here. That could be fixed with hot water. In fact, it's not even really broken. But still a bummer, and obviously not something you guys want to do. So when you're buying yours, check out the links in the video description below. You'll help support us financially when you do purchase, and you can kind of see this one got really bent, and then of course the nose got broke. How did that slip out? That slipped out like this. So now this actually is magnetically attached to that. It's really easy to replace. The problem is the fuse is all up here, okay? So it's a bummer, and this does happen, and the only thing that takes the blow away to a certain extent is when you have hundreds more planes staring you down saying, please crash me next. And that is something that's truly a problem I have, and so maybe that'll give me an opportunity to fly some others. Now, that being said, when we lost our linkage on the SU-27 back from the maidens, you can watch that in the playlist, that was one catastrophic failure. It totally destroyed the plane, and I actually rebuilt that with an entire tube of glue, a big tube of glue called mucilage. And that thing has reinforcements all over, and it actually is in one piece, but it does look a little bit beat up. And so I was thinking it might be kind of fun to go out there, and we did demonstrate what would be a good landing, but then I converted what would be a good landing into a touch and go. And I probably should have just put it down. So these are the things that plague us in the RC community when we push it, and we know we're pushing it, but we push it just a little bit too far. And when I came around and I said, oh boy, I could hear the whine of the EDF as my stick was totally up for 100% output. I could tell I was gonna lose it at that moment. And when I gave up altitude, I knew I had to get over the tree line. So my assertion was that I would be able to potentially convert that into using up my speed, that I was gonna have to then turn around and land because I had to switch directions. I couldn't continue where I was going and still had enough to put down on the runway behind us. I might have been able to do it in a perfect world with perfect circumstances, but I noticed that there was a slight wind coming from over our shoulders. So I said, yeah, I don't think I can get there. So I made the best choice I could make, and I still managed to screw it up. So anyway, this is what happens in the RC community. And the bummer is this is a gorgeous plane, and I hate to have one crashed like that. But I just did, and I will survive to see another day. And you will too. But you want an opportunity to crash your own, and I know you do. So definitely check out the links in the video description below, and you can support us by buying those things. Give them a shot up the tailpipe. Just show them how sweet those fans look. Looks absolutely amazing, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. This ant is still riding. Sorry, buddy. So yeah, it's a bummer. I didn't even get to use the air brake for you, but I was thinking that would be fun to do. But it is what it is, and this is just part of the hobby. And to be honest with you, when you start getting into some of these faster jets that have higher I call these higher consequence aircraft compared to like a prop driven plane back here. They just tend to be higher consequences than maybe this P-51 because the difference between having an engine out on this and an engine out on this is drastic because these take so much more power from whatever your power supply is, and so much all at once that you really have to be super efficient on them. And so for those of you that fly a lot of EDFs, you'll know exactly what I mean when I say that. And we have toyed with the concept of trying some high voltage packs to see if we could get a little bit more, oomph when we're flying these jets and therefore get out of the throttle a little quicker. And that's one thing I noticed about this particular plane, also with the Su-27, is that the power to weight ratio is just right on the edge of what these batteries can handle. And I've also noticed, I believe I flew this one on 5,000 every time I flew it. But I half wondered if I could put in a 7,000 and actually get a little bit more forgiveness, because then I could still fly a 4-minute timer. But again, I'm just not 100% sure. I know it's got a huge forgiving battery bay, but you still try to get that CG just right. Because if you get too tail heavy on any plane, you're gonna have a hard time landing. Although in a jet like this, surprisingly, tail heaviness is not always the end of the world. It just means your elevator is going to be extremely touchy, but you can get in and flare for landings really nicely. So I didn't even set up landing flaps on this. It was just the air brake. So, all right, guys, live and learn, lesson learned, numero dos. This is now 3 Chinese and Russian airplanes that are crashed. At least they're not Americans. But anyway, they're made from China still, so I guess they're all Chinese at the end of the day. But I don't know if you guys knew this, but back in the early days, I think I had an Su-30 from E-Flight, and I lost that very vigorously. Mm-hmm. I had a tail feather that stuck on me, and it was a very bad crash, and I lost a $190 battery at the time. I think it's $180 or $190. It was a 7,000 pack, and that was a toast battery at the end of that flight. So fortunately, I own the land where that wouldn't crash now. I didn't at the time. So anyway, guys, beautiful plane. From this angle, it looks perfectly good. Yep, yeah, just see, just make sure you get my good side.
Perfect.
So hopefully that answers all your questions. You can go back and, tear apart the crash. It's pretty obvious what happened. It is literally not rocket science on this one. I just ran myself out of battery. When you run out of battery, you tend to crash. If I were running out of battery at the right spot, I could have glided in for a perfect landing, provided I got a perfect landing, but probably not today. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you have questions, leave them in the comments below. Don't forget Patreon, PayPal, super thanks, and members on YouTube are 4 other ways you can support us if you don't want this J-11, or if you like the Su-27. It is also equally good, but just make sure that you're always checking your linkages with these full functioning televons. They are these are just elevators in this particular configuration. I did not set up televons. It might be kind of nice, but honestly, the roll rate I felt was fine with the ailerons only. And if you decide to do anything extra, like put extra throw onto your televons or do televons, then my suggestion is quadruple check that those linkages don't pull out of the ball joint adapters on the end, because that's what killed my first one. Anything else I forgot?
I think that's it.
And by the way, only 2 of those coupon codes exist. So if you guys are the first 2, congratulations. You'll get I think it was like a 30% off coupon. It's a pretty good coupon. So we will try to take that away. And I apologize if you guys are hearing that, if they're all gone. I'm not trying to, hook and bait, but just follow the link and do what the link says, and you'll be eligible for that. Otherwise,
And it's for either this one or the SU-27.
SU-27.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. J-11, SU-27 are the same, just different liveries as far as we're concerned. But in real life, this would be a Chinese licensed copy. They have evidently pay licensing to Russia, but just not to the Americas. But if you were to look this up, this is a Chinese offering that is originally licensed by Sikorsky, and then they bought it. So anyway, hopefully that answers all your questions and even a little bit more, and some inside baseball from Brian Phillips, RC. We appreciate you guys being with us. We love doing this for you, but it is still a bummer of a way to end an RC day. A little crying. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.